because if their performance is better, you can put up with the bad interpersonal, right? You can deal with this your boss if their performance is better. So that was a little bit unclear. In extreme form, right? When I see they engage in thought. Those are things people don't want in a firm. Your problem includes not taking ownership of some of the top managers. Who your firm leader is has significant effect on how your firm implements choices, what choices it makes, the vision it takes, and how it's run. It really has a significant effect. And then finally, there's just real benefits and costs. And as soon as you go through your career, you're going to have bosses that may fit what I've described, and you're going to have to weigh the benefits and costs, and you learn how to deal with some of the costs that are imposed on a narcissistic CEO. So with that, I'll open up to any questions we might have in our remaining time. I was just telling you your research maybe how social media has increased availability as well. So that's great. I'd love to have research assistants help gather that data. What I do know about social media is not necessarily at the firm level. There are studies that are being done about how they post, right? They'll mention themselves more, they'll put more selfies up, they'll have more foul language in their posts. And that might be something where in this world, employers look at your Facebook pages in that area. And so you want to be aware that those things could affect your future career term. It would be interesting to see like Twitter accounts. I know some research on that. There's obviously good examples of political leaders and firm leaders that use Twitter. It might be interesting to study that. All right, any other questions? Yeah. Just looking at the growth in narcissism time, I wonder, is there any indication that that growth is being more social acceptability of narcissism or more accepting of metric nowadays, or is it true growth in narcissism controlling for the acceptability of metric? Great question. So I think the best study that's the Mirror Effect book. What they did is they looked at celebrity narcissists. They showed that celebrities have higher narcissism than the average population, higher narcissism than the average MBA student. And what they argued there is, we kind of accept celebrity behavior. People have very extreme Charlie Sheen, Ursula, and very dysfunctional behavior that is mirrored by youth because they see it and they think it's acceptable. So I think the proliferation of tolerance of celebrity behavior certainly contributes to we can accept that narcissism. We think that's normal, it's not normal, but the way media portrays it is normal. In your research of personnel or in what is tends to be over and narcissistic firms over the one thing I know from the data is just the CEO level that the CEO will turn over more often. I haven't looked at the causes, that's really a study. I think as long as the narcissistic CEOs are the next great thing, right? They're trying to move up the world in a big firm. But it could be because they're dysfunctional as well. And I'm not certain why. Any other questions? Is narcissism considered curable in narcissistic change? So there's a study in psychology, and the answer is yes and no. Through time, people can adapt their behaviors, whether that's through personal discipline, being aware, they're aware of this behavior and they curtail themselves, or through counseling. Some of these personality traits are really sticky over time. The research would suggest that what might be early in your life, you may be a high-level narcissist, and your traits are very abrasive and aggressive. You may be able to tone that back. The manifestation of your personality, but you may still have the same high personality. We usually see, maybe just growing up, that people have tamper over time. Those are always the case. Look at narcissism anyway, selecting CEO. There has not been a great study on that. The reason why it's really hard to control for all the factors, right? These turns on narcissistic choice the firm makes if they're going to hire in what circumstances. So the results that I found mostly say we try to control for firm characteristics at the time the CEO is hired, so we can say this is really the CEO, not the choice of the CEO. That's just a sticky issue in research. It's more a technical commenting issue than it is anything. It's certainly great if there's evidence on that. There's another one right here. I was wondering if you see any patterns with research history, in finance industry, how I see that versus the CEO research. Yeah, and this is a question I've gotten several times. I can't exclusively answer it because our data is limited, so we just look at the Fortune 500. This sounds like a lot of firms, but it's not the S&P 1500. It's not fixed. We have a lot of limitations of the data. It really isn't. At least in my data, I did do that analysis on the S&P 1500 one. There's wasn't. We'll see some in the energy industry or the entertainment industry. I think it's just more about being a CEO than anything. Any other questions? Okay, great. Thank you for coming today. We'd like to thank Dr. Olson for his presentation. The question I had for him was I want to ask him if even our students will leave that for now. Thank you for all these welcome. Thank you. Pleasure to
know Scott. He's a friend of Huntsman School. In fact, this space that we're in right now, the L. Tom Perry Pavilion, which Scott opens up to another third a little bit farther, named in honor of our great alumnus, Elder L. Tom Perry, was supported in part by Zions Bank. By way of introduction, Scott is known around the state as Utah's unelected governor. He's involved in everything. There isn't a good cause that Scott, in some way, hasn't been involved in. And he serves on so many different boards. Governor Herbert said there's rarely an event that is designed to help Utah businesses, families, or communities in which Scott is not involved. He says, my theory is that the guy has clones who happen to be every bit as friendly as he is. Scott's family heritage includes Edward T. Benson, who was an early pioneer here in Cache Valley, and also Major Howard Egan, who was in charge of the Pony Express from Salt Lake to Reno. So his family goes back quite a ways. His father was a very eminent judge here in Salt Lake City, a federal judge, Judge Alton Anderson. Scott is married to Jesselie Barlow Anderson, and among his many, many honors and distinctions are that he and Jesselie were honored as Distinguished Service with the Distinguished Service Award from Utah State University in 2007. So won't you join me in welcoming Scott Anderson to we have a short video that might be a way to start us off. Scott, you want to say that?
I just say I'm thrilled to be here with you this morning. I'm especially pleased to be in this room. L. Tom Perry not only was a good friend, but he was a board member of Zions Bank and helped run the bank for a long period of time. And so we were honored to be able to participate and help honor him with the naming of this room. But I thought to begin with, I wanted to show you a short video. It tells the history of Zions Bank. And I think that will help set the stage for maybe some of the comments and questions today. The bank was over 140 years old, and we did this on the 140th anniversary. And so it's 140 years of Zions history and 140 seconds. So it's a short video, but I hope you enjoy it.
140 years of Zions Bank history in 140 seconds. It all started July 6, 1873. Governor Brigham Young of Utah Territory considers organizing a savings bank in Salt Lake Valley called Zions Savings Bank Trust Company. 4 days later, the bank was incorporated with a capital stock of $200,000. It's a lot of money. Big guys start bank up over. October 3, 1873, the day the North School opened, cashiers recorded deposits of almost $6,000 by 40 cents deposits. $6,000 back in those days was nothing to change that. During 1889, financial assistance from the bank helped launch several investment firms that would later become Hancock Copper, Union Pacific, Utah Power, and Mountain Fuel. These events all major industries in Utah were served by Zions in the formative years. In 1916, a bigger bank was needed in rural Utah to save money on shipping materials. 80,000 masonry bricks from Salt Lake City were wrapped in paper and brought in the mailbox. They traveled more than 420 miles by parcel post, much cheaper than sending them by freight wagon. After this done, the U.S. Postal Service had imposed weight limits on daily shipments. Today's Zions Bank's Earl office has the distinction of being the only bank in the country entirely shipped by mail. After the Great Depression, many banks across the nation closed involuntarily. In February of 1932, 40 depositors withdrew $1.5 million in 2.5 days, prompting Bank President Heber J. Grant to place a sign in the window showing there was no safer bank in the state or the nation. By the end of the month, total deposits exceeded withdrawals. Without that sign, this video probably would have ended here. Luckily it doesn't. On December 31st, 1957, Zions Savings Bank and Trust Company, Utah Savings Trust Company, and First National Bank of Salt Lake City merged to form Zions First National Bank. Also, the apostrophe in Zions was dropped. I never really liked that apostrophe anyway. A few years later, April 22nd, 1960, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints sold the majority of control of the bank to Keystone Insurance Investment Company. I guess that's what they call Separation of Church and Bank. Skip ahead to a more recent time, June 1991. Zions Bank started an annual tradition called Paint-A-Month, where bankers drop the balance sheets and pick up team rushes to join together and sprucing up the homes of the elderly and disabled. This event always brings out fires in that girl. In July 1997, Jeff Stabler was local decision-making released Zions Bank Enter Idaho. Who doesn't like a Idaho sponge? Today's Zions Bank employs roughly 2,600 people in 120 locations throughout the communities of Utah, Idaho. Literally half of the crowd is visitors. And that's 140 years of Zions Bank history in 140 seconds.
Okay, that's great. It's great waiting to get us into the bank. We want to talk about banking in Utah and economic development a little bit, Scott. But I noticed in that video that Paint-A-Thon, you were there with your paintbrush. That started just shortly after you arrived at Zions Bank. We spent about 25 years, 26 years, and we paint about 50 homes a year, and we get almost 3,000 people now. So not only just the employees, they come with their families. Some of the employees are here, and we paint homes in communities all throughout our market in Utah, Idaho. Well, I think that was in June or July of 1991, and you arrived at the bank in December of 1990. And you came from Bank of America, and you had been in San Francisco, and before that you were in Japan, and then before that you were in San Francisco with Bank of America. So we're working back a little bit. My understanding is your master's degree is in economics and international affairs from Johns Hopkins. You have a bachelor's degree in philosophy and economics from Columbia. You did attend the University of Utah for 2 years, served an LDS mission to Tahiti. And someplace along the line in there, you also spent a year at the University of Bologna in Italy. So you picked up French, Italian, Japanese along the way at one point. Okay. I mentioned something about your distinguished forebears and your honored father and mother. I didn't mention that yours was a bipartisan family. Your mother coming from a strong Democratic family, the Weilandmans, and her brother was a candidate for governor of the state. I remember when he ran, was it 1968? Or was, and then he ran for Senate against Wallace Bennett and lost both. Yeah. Well, we have something in common with that in our family. I had a father that ran and lost for governor, and I ran, as you know, for the Senate and lost badly. Scott, take us a little bit through your developmental years, if you would, before we get into banking and what you're doing now. What was it that interested you in economics to start out with?
Well, I was always intrigued with the sort of multiplier effect of money and how people can deposit money in banks, and then the banks can take the money and lend it out 7 times, and it just has a huge economic impact. And I went to school, as you mentioned, at the University of Bologna for a while, and when you're there, you realize how important trade and finance have been to the development of the world. I think Bologna is the oldest university in Europe. It's the oldest university in the world, and they have a very good sense of history and the history of finance. And so they go back to where the merchant princes, actually started the banking system. Right? If you go back early enough, people would carry around their gold or whatever they were going to barter with, and then they realized that they didn't have to carry it around, and someone would say, keep it for them and give them a slip of paper, which became checks that they'd write on. And so the banking really they came from those early Italian merchants. And it always intrigued me how the money can grow and expand and build on the trust that when you need the money, you'll get it. But when you don't need it, it's out there being multiplied to help business grow.
Yeah. So the money multiplier is what really drew you into a study of economics. You also studied philosophy along the way and international relations. Tell us a little bit about your interest in those topics.
Well, I love to read, and I love to read the books of some of the European philosophers. I like to see how they thought and how they sort of pieced together the history of humankind and how it developed. And so when I had the chance to go to Columbia University in New York, they had some of the best professors on philosophy in the world, and I was able to take courses from them. And I graduated with a degree in philosophy, as you said, but also in economics, because my parents said, you can never earn a living as a professor of philosophy.
Good counsel. And the international relations, you've obviously lived all over the world. I think you were in Japan for 7 years or something like that. What is it about international affairs that are of interest to you?
Well, I think, going back again to my experience in Italy, and you saw how much of the development of the world really has come from trade. If you go back to the time of Cleopatra, here Egypt was the wealthiest country in the world. She was probably the wealthiest person in the world. And then it moved. Cleopatra, and then it moved. And I had a professor in the University of Bologna who was a communist. Bologna was the largest communist city in the free world that was freely elected as a communist government. But his contention was that if you look at Columbus, when he knew where he was going, and it wasn't to prove that the world was round; it was to find the lost tribes of Israel, because he was part of my professor. He had a Jewish background, and he thought if he could find them, that he could trade back and forth and have make an immense fortune. And so, so much of the world is based on this trade. And as you see the world develop, it's become so flat and so interconnected that it's fascinating. So
this was a Marxist professor who was telling you about trade.
Yeah.
And what else did you learn from this Marxist professor?
Oh, yeah, it's interesting. The trains ran on time, and Bologna, though, in Italy, they were always late.
Yeah, except Mussolini was the dictator. This is a rather snarky comment. So I hesitate to make it, but you did transfer from the University of Utah to Columbia. Had you stayed at the University of Utah, there were plenty of Marxist professors for you to learn.
That's probably true. I took some classes from them. Walter P. Reed, a great philosopher, Professor D.
Scott, you come from a family of 6 boys and 1 girl, and your brothers are all very distinguished in their own professions. You have, I think, 3 who were doctors and 2 who were lawyers. Is that right? Including one named Doug, who's a doctor. Yeah. Is he the guy who's staring out at me and that billboard? I come north on I-15. Here goes the pro. Yeah. But she's not an ex-murderer. Yeah, that's good. So, Scott, your grandmother said of you that she thought that you were probably the only non-professional in the family. You were very far too entrepreneurial. I also know about your relationship with your grandmother and why she might have said that.
I had a fabulous grandmother, and we would spend the summers with her. She had a summer home up on Pennsylvania, just outside of West Yellowstone. Was this heavy? Was this heavy? But she believed in education. She never dropped on, and I don't think she actually graduated from high school, but she believed in education. She was just a hungry reader. Anyway, she told me that she was disappointed that I was her only grandson that wasn't a professional. I didn't have a doctor in front of my name or an attorney after my name, and that's true. So,
I hope to have the chance to meet Denise someday, because I want to assure her that maybe we can arrange to have you get an honorary doctor here at Utah State. So take a note of that. Let's make a note of that. What do you think? Our mission here at the Hudson School of Business is to develop leaders of distinction in commerce and public affairs, and there's no one who exemplifies that more than you. So we're really honored to have you here with us today. Scott, you are so involved in community affairs. Help us understand why you devote so much of your time to community affairs.
Well, I passed out, and I will address this guiding principle for the bank, and this goes back to our founder, Fergie Young, and it was revised by Roy Simmons, who I consider the modern-day founder of the bank, and by his son Harris, who's our chairman of Zions Bank Corporation. But there are a couple things in here that I want to emphasize. In the middle, it says banking is a local business, and that to be successful, you have to have strong ties to the community and strong relationships with our client. And then at the top, it says our goal is to create value for our clients, value for the communities, value for the employees, and obviously value for the shareholders who have invested their capital in our organization. And to create this value and to help our clients, we need to be conservatively entrepreneur, and we need to do things that will help our clients grow and develop, whether they be a consumer, whether they be a business, and to provide economic opportunities for them that will allow growth. And so we are very much attuned to the community. We think it's part of the role of being a community banker. But on the other hand, it's sort of selfish that if everyone prospers, hopefully people will come back and do more business with us, and then we'll prosper. And then our customer stories make our story possible, and we live in a better community. And so going back to the very beginning, when Brigham Young founded the bank, he said that he wanted this bank to be the heart and soul of the community and to be recognized as a significant contributor to the community. And I think from that founding to today, that really is in our DNA.
Yeah. We celebrate this year the 100th anniversary of the 100th birth of Leonard Arrington, who was a professor of economic history in our college before he became church historian and wrote the great book, Great Basic Income. And so that's a wonderful book about the development of Utah's economy, and of course Einstein was a very big part of that. And it's interesting, as you say, how important it is for money, how important the role of money is in economic development, and how tied it is to community affairs. And you used the magic word trust a little bit ago, that really you can't do your job without that strong trust bond between the bank and the community. And that's what you exemplify so well with your involvement in all these different...
Well, I think that's what our employees do. Again, we have a couple of them out here. Our business is based on trust, and it goes back to the very beginning of banking, that I trust if I give my gold to you, that when I need it, I can get it back. And if I feel like I can't get it back, I'm not going to give it to you. If I don't give it to you, then you can't spread it around.
That's really an amazing thing, isn't it? If you try to put yourself back into the time when those deposits first happened, we take it for granted now. I bank with you. I never think about it twice. I always know that I can get my money from a South Bank if I need it, no matter where I am in the world. But you think about those original